Hello, and welcome to the most mythic episode of the Dohyo to date. Call me Sisyphus, cause these predictions are getting bolder. Stop it!
Roll the salt, get in the ring. Welcome to the Dohyo.
Hello and welcome back to the Dohyo here on Mr JWags channel. We are talking all things sumo. Today, of course, we are getting ready for the November Basho, and we are going to have my thoughts and my bolder predictions. But today, something a little different. We're doing a new sort of viewer mail-esque segment, and we need a name for the viewer mail segment. So our new contest is come up with a name for the viewer mail segment that's like cool and Dohyo related. Put it in the comments, and whoever wins will, of course, get a sumo shoutout. They will get the hashtag pick the flannel, and they will get the Mr JWags song of their choice. Alright, so the November Basho is here. Got some thoughts. My first thought. I said about the last Basho that we're having sort of a resurgence of the pixies, or maybe not a resurgence, a surgence. I think we are going to learn a lot in this current Banzake on whether or not those pixies are going to be able to hang out in the Joy and Sanyaku area. So my first bold prediction, no one who weighs under 300 pounds will get Kachikoshi except one. And that's my bolder prediction. It's going to be Enho. I think Enho is actually a little underranked for his skill set. Hakuho is back, so he should be up to the level of training that we normally see him at, so let's look at Enho here to get a Kachikoshi. Now the second point I made about the last Basho, but this one I want to reiterate, is that we seem to be hitting that youth movement we've been talking about. In the last Basho, Takayasu, at age 30 and a few months, was the oldest wrestler to get Kachikoshi. I think we're going to keep seeing that trend going on in this tournament. But that leads me to my next bolder prediction. It is my sumo three-way parlay. These three Rikishi who are over the age of 30 are gonna get Kachikoshi. Number one, Endo. He got hurt in the last tournament. I think he is very, very underranked at Megashira 9. I would be very surprised if he is healthy if he does not get Kachikoshi. Shiyanokuni. Back from injury, back from the lower ranks. He's back up here. He has been doing so well in Juryo. He looks completely recovered. If his true talent level is anywhere near it was before, he should be wrestling at a mid-Mega Shira level. So I would expect him to get Kachikoshi in his re-debut in Makuuchi. And finally, this one's an oldie but a goodie. We can't just say the guys who are like close to 30. But Tamawashi, the former champion. I think Tamawashi's got one or two more good ones in him. And I think this will be one of them. Now, generally right now, I think we got a few guys who are underranked, a few guys who are overranked. The underranked guys who I think are going to do very well. Takayama, I think, is going to do very well down here. Kota Nowaka is back from injury. Meisei, don't sleep on him. Now, he was a rising star who then got hurt and dropped back down into Juryo, but he seems to be back now, so we could be seeing a Meisei resurgence. Now, people who I think are a little bit overranked are going to get slapped down a bit. Kagayaki. Well, I could be wrong about this, but every time Kagayaki has been up in like Mega Shira 4, or like now Mega Shira 3, he has never done very well. So, if he gets a Kachikoshi up here, it will be the first time he does it. So, Kagayaki, if you've got a new gear, awesome, but otherwise, I don't see it. And this goes back to one of my earlier predictions, Kotoego and Wakataka Kage. I don't think either of them are going to do well at the ranks they are at. This folds me into my next bold prediction. Of the top 3 Mega Shira ranks, so the top 6 Mega Shira, only one of them is going to get Kachikoshi. Now the bolder side of the prediction is which one is it going to be. Now my soul wants to say Oh No Show, but I'm not as sure as I am about Daisho. I think Daisho had a very bad tournament up at Sekiwake. I think he was just a little bit overwhelmed. I think the Sanyaku is going to do a lot of feasting on the upper Mega Shira ranks, so best of luck to you all, but I think Daisho is going to be able to pull off the 8 and 7. Now, I often talk in these prediction videos about, like, what's the story of sumo and what's going to happen next? Well, we sort of really don't have any major storylines that can happen in this tournament. I mean, no one's going to make Theyokozune off the results of this tournament, and, like, short of a Mitake Yumi miracle, we're not going to have an Ozeki out of this tournament. So, who is going to be most helped or possibly hurt by this Basho? This is a little segment I like to call, Which Way We Go? And the first wrestler I want to talk about, Ichinojo. Now it seems like Ichinojo's been around forever, but he's only 27. He has shown himself to have the ability to be able to fight the best of the best, and as I will prove in the Shadow of Hakuho, in the absence of Hakuho, would probably have 2 Yusho. So the question is, who's going to show up to this tournament? The Mongolian Mountain or Sleepy Nojo? I know I'm not the first person to recognize this, but there are 2 Ichinojo who show up on any given day. I think this tournament's going to tell us a lot about which way Ichinojo is going to go. And then yeah, we just talked about this guy. Oh no show. Which way you going? Of course, he's at Megashira 2 this tournament, where he was 2 tournaments ago, and then he got 2 wins, and then he came back, had a great tournament, and now he's back up at Megashira 2. So which Onosho is it going to be? Now as we all know, Onosho, still very, very young, only 23. He has already made Komusubi, then of course knee injury, now he's working his way back up. Do we see him becoming the Sanyaku regular we all hoped he would be? That would be awesome. Has he gotten over his balance issues? Remains to be seen. Let's see how he handles himself in the Joy. Again, which way are we going on this? Alright, Takas, which way are we going? Our youngest Ozeki, he already has a Yusho. He's coming off a great tournament where he had a Jun Yusho. Yet it's very hard to know what's going to be coming in this tournament. He hasn't been very consistent. He's been injured a lot. He's been injuring different parts of his body. He's been looking strong recently. Maybe he can pull something off here, but maybe not. The Theyokozune are about to retire. Someone's going to be our next Theyokozune. Someone should be able to pull off 2 in a row. It might be Takas. But if Takas ends up getting a Makekoshi in this tournament, ends up going Kataban, goes back down to Sekiwake, having to fight his way back up, this just keeps adding time and tournaments to his Yokozuna journey. So, if he can put together another awesome 10-plus win tournament this time, that's going to go a long way to allaying fears that this person can be a solid Yokozuna in the future. At least for me. And my final, which way are we going, is Terunofuji. Now Terunofuji's back! But even more so than Ichinojo, which Terunofuji is back? He managed to put together a great tournament, won a Yusho, but again, that was after an entire tournament off. He was down in the lower Megashira ranks. He's now facing the toughest opponents for all 15 days. And if we look back when he was an Ozeki, much younger and supposedly a little bit healthier and hardier of stock, he had some flat-out awful tournaments at Ozeki. He had a 4-win tournament, he had a 2-win tournament. If he starts having those sorts of tournaments now, he doesn't have the Ozeki rank to sort of be able to bump him back up with an 8 and 7. He's a Komusubi right now. If he has a 2-win tournament, then an 8-win tournament, then a 4-win tournament, it's not just going to bump him back to the same rank. He's going to keep sliding his way down the Banzuke. He's not getting any younger. Cartilage is certainly not regrowing in his knees and elbows. So I think Terunofuji's ability to get through a 15-day tournament this time will tell us a lot about which way is he going. You'll notice we haven't really talked about the Theyokozune yet. They are the crux of my last sets of predictions. Number 1, I think that Kakuryu is going to go kyujo from this tournament. We'll see if that means he's forced to retire this time, but I think they're probably going to give him one more tournament, and I think that in the January tournament, he will probably be there, stick it out all 15 days, and give us one more good show. And I think the next time he faces Hakuho will be the last time they face in official competition. It's now time for, of course, the all-famous Yusho pick, and oddly enough, it feels like a bold prediction. My bolder prediction is that the Jun Yusho will be won by someone with the prefix Taka. So that's either Takayasu, Takanosho, or Takakeisho. But all 3 of them are going to get 10+ wins. And of course, as we all read in Tachia.org, Takarafuji is not a Taka, he's a Takara. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Dohyo. Remember, please like, subscribe, share with all of your sumo friends the Dohyo love. This is our last episode before the next Basho, but we of course are going to be back with great content after that. We have the Tam no Umini episode, more Shadow of Hakuho coming up, and of course we will have all of the ramifications of these bolder predictions coming soon. Alright, everyone stay safe, stay strong, and I will see you next time on the Dohyo.